Okay, so in the last section of chapter 10, we're going to take a look at how circles and algebra are connected. So we're going to specifically look at how can we graph equations, how can we graph circles on XY coordinate system, and what equations we would have to use, and also, if we have equation, how do we graph it? So the first thing I wanted to do is show you a few graphs of circles and how different parts of the equation affect the graph. So I went to Desmos.com and I am using an equation of x squared plus y squared equals 1. So as you can see, this is a circle with a center at the origin 0, 0 and a radius of 1. If I want to change my radius, I simply just have to change this number right here. So let's say that I want my radius to be 2. I'm going to make this into 2 squared. So now my radius is 2. If I want to make my radius 3, I'm going to change this to 3 squared. If I want this number to be, if I want the radius to be 4, I could simply say this is 4 squared. Again, I can actually square this, and if I make it 16, it's going to give me, again, a circle of radius 4. So the general equation is always going to be quantity x squared plus y squared equals the radius squared. So this number right here represents the radius squared. And then I can control the center of the circle by replacing x with x minus a number or x plus a number, the same thing with y. So I'm going to go back to my circle with a radius of 1, and I am going to graph a couple more circles. So if I want my circle to move to the right 1 unit, I would have to replace x with x minus 1. So it actually does something opposite. So when I replace x with x minus 1, it actually moves the circle 1 right unit. If I want my center to go up, I'm actually going to replace my y with y minus 1 again. So in general, the left side of the equation is going to help you find the center, and the right side of the equation is going to help you find the radius. So overall, if I have to generalize and come up with one single equation, I am going to write the following. So let's say that my center is at h comma k, but they're just letters that represent the center, and radius of r. My general equation is going to be x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, and it's equal to radius squared. Okay, so it's going to be x minus h quantity squared plus y minus k quantity squared equals radius squared. So this is going to be your standard equation for a circle. So the first thing I need you guys to know how to do is how to graph a circle if I give you the equation. So you need to be able to identify the center and the radius from the equation. So the right side of the equation is going to be 25, and that is what radius squared is equal to. So if I square the radius, my answer is going to be 25, which means that my radius is going to be 5. So I know this circle is going to have a radius of 5. On the left side, I will be able to find my center. So if x has x minus 2, that means the x coordinate of the center is 2. And if this is y minus 2, that means that my y coordinate of the center is positive 2. So this is my center. So when I graph it, I'm going to plot the center first. And then I'm going to go 5 away from the center in all 4 directions. So this is my sort of right endpoint. This is going to be my bottom, like right here, and right here, and like right here. And then this is going to not be the best circle ever, but you get the idea. Ooh, this is bad. Okay, but anyway, so the center is going to be at 2, 2, and the radius has to be 5. So for this one, what I want you to do is pause the video and try to graph this one on your own and see if you got the right answer. Alright, so hopefully you got a chance to do this on your own, and I'm hoping that you got a radius of 4 and a center of -1 and +2. And the reason why it's -1 is because if you ended up with x plus 1, that means you were subtracting a -1 for the x's. So you're going to plot your center at -1, +2. So it's like right here. And your radius is 4, so you're going to go 4 away to the right. You're going to go 4 up. You're going to go 4 left. And you're going to go 4 down. So that's going to be the general shape of your graph. And again, I apologize for the quality of my circle. But as long as you have the center at -1, 2, and the radius is 4, you should be okay. So the next thing I need you guys to know how to do is find the standard equation if I give you a graph of a circle. So that requires you to find the center and also the radius. So from my graph, I am going to identify the center of the circle, which looks like it's going to be 1, 1. And just to confirm, if I go away, up and down, I'm 4 away from my endpoints. And I'm 4 away to the right and to the left. So my center is going to be 1, 1. And my radius is going to be 4. So that means that my equation will have to be x minus 1 squared plus y minus 1 squared, and it's going to be equal to 4 squared, which is going to be 16. So this would be the equation of a circle in standard form that would correspond to this picture. So pause the video and see if you write the correct equation for this circle, and then check your answer to see if you did it correctly. Alright, so in this circle, our center is at 3, 1, and our radius is 2. So my equation is going to be x minus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 2 squared, which is going to be simply a 4. So this is going to be my equation. So equals to 4. Okay, so instead of giving you a picture, I can also give you verbal information for the equation. So, oh, I can't spell center. So the center is at 3, 2, and the radius is 12. So my equation is going to be x minus 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared, and it's going to be equal to 12 squared, which is 144. And that's it. So that is your equation of a circle. So try this one on your own and then double check to see if you got it right. Alright, so the center is at -1, 5. So because it's -1, when I subtract the -1, it actually turns into a plus. So for the x's, it's going to be x plus 1 squared plus y minus 5 squared, and it's equal to 7 squared. So on the right side, I'm going to have 49. Alright, so I think I did this one. Okay, so example 4. In example 4, I'm going to show you how to write an equation if I give you a center, and then instead of giving you the radius, I'm going to give you a point that's on your circle, and you actually have to find the radius on your own. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a very quick sketch. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just to give us an idea of what's going on here. So 2, 4 is going to be right here, and -3, 16 is going to be somewhere over here. So my circle sort of is going to do something like this. I need 2 pieces of information in order to write my equation. I need to know the center, and I also need to know the radius. Well, the center is given to me. I know it's 2, 4, but I need to find the radius. So what I would like you guys to do is either use a distance formula, or you can also use Pythagorean theorem. So in order to use the Pythagorean theorem, think of the distance or the radius as the hypotenuse. And then all you have to do is figure out what are the legs of this circle. So remember that your center is at 2, 4. And this point right here that's on your circle is -3, 16. So if you went in the x direction from a 2 to a -3, that means that this leg had to be 5 units long. And if you went from a 4 to 16 in the vertical direction, that means that this leg had to be 12. You can use Pythagorean theorem or recognize the fact that this is a Pythagorean triple. So if you have 5, 12, your hypotenuse would have to be 13. And this is going to be the radius of your circle. So the radius is going to be 13. And once you have the center and the radius, you just simply find or write the equation. So your equation is going to be x minus 2 squared plus y minus 4 squared, and it's equal to 169 because you're going to square the radius. So this is going to be your equation. And I just have one more for you to try on your own to see if you got it right. So try this one and then double check your answer. Alright, so you had a center of 3, -2, so we know that our equation started with x minus 3 quantity squared plus y, and it's minus -2, which is going to turn into plus 2, and it's going to be equal to radius squared. So I do have to find my radius. I am going to quickly sketch the 2 points. So 3, -2 is, let's say, here. This is really bad. Okay, so 3, -2, and 23, 19 is going to be here. Okay, so I'm going to try to do it a little better. Okay, so 3, -2, and 23 and 19. So this is the center, like this is your radius right here. So I am going to make this into a right triangle. I need to know the 2 legs. So in the horizontal direction, if you went from a 3 to 23, that means this had to be 20. And in the vertical direction, if you went from a -2 to positive 19, you had to go up 21 units. So you have a leg of 20, a leg of 21, and you have to find the radius. So I'm going to have to use Pythagorean theorem here. So 20 squared plus 21 squared, it has to be c squared. So if I use my calculator correctly, I should get 20 squared plus 21 squared to be 841. So then if I take the square root of 841, I get the radius, which is going to be 29. Great. All right, so C is 29. There. So 29. And that means that the right side of my equation just has to be 29 squared. So it would have to be 841. So hopefully you got this as your equation. And that concludes our video. So hopefully you got most of the U-try examples correct.